So today I'll be making this simple gather dress with a circle sleeve. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already folded my fabric into two, and then I have my back panel also here. So how I got my width of the fabric is just my bust, the widest part of the body divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch. So that's how I got the width. And then for the back I added about 1.5 so that I can get my zip allowance. So let me start putting in the measurements I need. So first you go up to the shoulder, and then the shoulder measurement I'm working with is about divided by 2, that's going to be 8.5. So I'm going to mark that here, and then I'm going to come down and put in the armhole. The armhole I'm working with is 21, so I'm going to come down here on this line, and then I'm going to mark it this way. This is for a 2XL, and then I'm going to just put in this mark here for the armhole, and then I'm going to come down here for the shoulder slope. So this is just putting in my normal basic bodice, and then at this part here I'm going to put in the neckline. So I'm going to work with 3.5 instead of normal 3x3. I'm just going to make it 3.5 by, let's say, 5 inches down. So I'm going to connect the neck this way, and then I'm going to put in my back neckline, which is going to be about 1 inch from the top here, and then just connect it this way. So I'm going to come down. So after that you're going to connect your shoulder slope to this top part here, and then on the waist you're going to divide the waist measurement by 4. The waist I'm working with is 40, divided by 4, that's going to be 10, and then divided by 4 is going to be 10 plus extra 2 inches, so that's 12. I'm going to mark that here and then connect it here. And by the way, the bust I'm working with is 47. So I'm just going to connect that here. Bust of 47, waist of 40. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything out. So that's basically it for the body of this dress here. So guys, now I've cut out everything. So to put in my dart, all I have to mark is from the first the front body. So the distance of the breast point, which is 9, I'm going to add extra 9. So 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So at that point here, I'm going to come down from the shoulder to the bust, which is 12. And then so you're going to stop 1 inch before that, so that's going to be 11 for me, which is on this point here. So I'm going to just measure from the shoulder, from the bottom here. My dart is going to stop here 1 inch before the shoulder to bust line, and then you're going to mark half an inch here, connect it. So that's basically how I'm going to draw my front dart, but I'm going to notch it here so that I know the same point is where my back dart would be, but except for my back dart is going to be longer than this front dart here. So the next thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to separate the front and the back, and then I'm going to halfway through my armhole, which is about 5.5 here, I'm going to go in by half an inch here, and then I'm going to connect it from this top part up here, and then connect it this way and cut it out. So that after cutting that out, I'm going to set my bodice aside, and then I'm going to move over to the bottom of the dress. So I've already cut out what I'm going to be using. So for the width of, because the bottom is gathered, right, so you're going to need a rectangular fabric, and to determine the width you can use 2 times of your waist measurement. Let's say you're using your waist measurement is 30, right, you can use 2 times of 30, and that would be like 60. So that means the width of your fabric is going to be 60, and you're going to use it as your gather, right? And then how you're going to determine the length you're using is basically, so to get the bottom length here, what you're going to do, I've already talked about how to get the width. To get the length, you're just going to subtract your half length from the full length. Let's say it's to your knee, so you're going to subtract the half length, maybe 17 or whatever, your shoulder to your waist, from the full length. Let's say maybe the full length you're working with is 40. Whatever you got after that is going to be the length of this bottom part. It's going to be the length of the flowy part of the dress. So, and then you're going to add extra 1.5 or extra 1.5 to it, 1 inch of folding the end and half an inch to joining this top part to the flare. So for me, I have about 22 to work with, but then I added extra 1.5 to it, so I have 23.5 here. So that's the length I'm working with for the girder. So you can use, it depends on how much fabric you have and how much girder you're going for. If you want excessive girder, you can use about, let's say 4 times your waist or 3 times your waist, but normally people use like 2.5 or sometimes 3 times of your waist as the width of the girder you're going to be working with. So now we're going to set this one aside and move to cutting of the sleeve. So guys, this is what I'm working with here. So it's going to be a circle sleeve. So I already have a square here. So basically what you have to do is, I have 2 of them here. So I have 2 of this here. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it into 2, and then I'm going to fold it this way. So how you're just going to make sure that the square, that's the length you're working with. So my sleeve length is going to be 8, but I'm going to add 1 inch to it, half an inch of joining the top part and half an inch of joining the bottom part to the lining. So that's going to be 9 inches in total. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead and mark that 9 inches all the way around here. So guys, all you have to do is to take your, I've already made a video on how to cut this circle top. So all you have to do is just place your tape, and then you're going to measure all the way around, right? The measurement you need. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out the excess. So guys, now that I've marked it, so the next thing I'm going to do, you see halfway through this is my sleeve. So what I have to do is so I'm just going to mark so that I know that this is half of the sleeve, like halfway through. So I now have this line. Another thing you can do is just to iron it when it's folded, so that you can just know that this line is here, right? So like I said before, my sleeve. So guys, that mark that I made here, the next thing I'm going to do is just to mark, you're going to divide your armhole by 6.28, right? So after dividing it, what I have is about 3.5. So I'm just going to come down here from this line that I've made through the halfway is what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to mark 3.5 here, and then from this 3.5 now is where I'm going to place my tape and start out. You see, I placed it this way to mark the 3.5, and then I'm going to place it from this point now and start marking a circle. I've already made a video on how to cut this circle sleeve. Another thing you can do is just take your top and put the armhole here and trace it out. I'm just going to link it in the description bar. So I'm just going to keep on marking 3.5 all the way round, just making like a circle here. So guys, now that I've marked it, I'm just going to cut it out, right? Cut this out. So this is basically it for my sleeve. So all I have to do is to notch this part so that I know that this is the top part of the sleeve, right? The part that is going to go to the top part of your shoulder. And then I'm going to notch this one to know that this is the part that will be at the armhole, like the armpits part. And then this is the top of the shoulder. So it's something like this, right? This is the sleeve here. This is the hole here. So you see, this is how it will fall. So this is basically the circle sleeve. I've made this video before, but I'm just trying to explain it again. So you see how the opening is. I'm just going to fix it in. So I'm just going to go ahead and start coupling everything together. Here, I've gone ahead and folded the end. And how you do it is, like I said before, you're going to cut 2 of this for each sleeve. Like, you can use lining for the second part of it, and then that's going to be what you use to fold the end. And as you can see, all I did was to go ahead, stitch it round, and then flip it inside out. So guys, you see, I took it, but instead of using lining, I'm using the same fabric. So I cut 2 of it for each sleeve, and then I joined it all the way around, right? The second one is on this side, and then after that, I just flipped it inside out and ironed it. So guys, you see, I flipped it inside out. So now the curved ends, you can't see them anymore, like the stitches, they are now on the inside. So what I'm going to do, before you put it on the dress, you make sure that you finished your dress, like you've joined it, you've checked that the measurement is the same, everything is done, and then you just take it this way the top part is here, like where I notched is this part, and then the bottom part is here. All you have to do is take this, the top part, which is on this widest part here, put it at the top of the shoulder, right? And then you're going to go ahead and pin it down all the way, right? You're going to pin it down all the way to the armhole. Like the second notch at the end here is going to be at the bottom part here, you see, where the stitch is, and then every other thing is done. So I'm just going to go ahead, pin it down, pin it down, pin it down all the way around, and then sew it. And then when I'm done, it's going to look like this. So you see how this side is, right? You see the opening. So basically this is it here. The sleeve is on this side here. So I'm going to do the same on this side too. See, I've gone ahead and sewed down the sleeve. So this is what it looks like right now. I finished the dress, and then this is the circle sleeve. So when it flows this way, right? So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.